Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya TV. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. Let us start the bulletin with the headlines. Gunman kills 9 people and injures at least 10 others at a busy area in Munich. German police give a cautious all clear after finding the gunman dead a kilometer away from the crime scene. Home Minister Rajnath Singh to leave for Jammu and Kashmir on a 2-day visit. Union Minister to take stock of the situation in the violence-hit valley. Rajnath will try to calm the tension following the killing of Hizbul Mujahideen commander Burhan Wani. Politicians make a beeline for protest-hit Una after Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, members of left JDU and TMC to visit Gujarat to assess the situation there. Efforts still on to locate an AN-32 transport aircraft of the Indian Air Force that went missing on Friday. Aircraft ships continue search and rescue operations in the Bay of Bengal. And India take control with mammoth total of 566 for 8 against West Indies in Antigua. Memorable day for Virat Kohli as skipper eases to his maiden double 100 in Test. R. Ashwin contributes with a fine 100. Well, the big story this morning, 9 people have been killed and 10 others wounded after a man went on a shooting spree in Munich. The attacker then committed suicide. Now, there has been no immediate claim of responsibility, nor there is any information about the possible motives. Now, Indian mission in Munich says that no Indians have been harmed. Now, German Chancellor Angela Merkel will today convene her Security Council to address the deadly shooting rampage. At least 9 people were killed in a shooting rampage in a Munich shopping centre on Friday, with police describing it as a suspected terror attack. The shooter, who was likely acting alone, committed suicide. Police say the gunman on the rampage shot himself in the head and died. The body of the suspect was found about 1 kilometer from the shopping centre in the Moosach district. The motive for the attack, in which 10 people were wounded, is unclear.
Wie eben gesagt, Ruhe bewahren, achten auf unsere entsprechenden Veröffentlichungen, achten auf seriöse Pressemitteilungen zu dem Thema und vertrauen auf Ihre Münchner Polizei.
The shooting spree began at around 6 p.m. local time near Hanover Street, with the attacker opening fire on the members of the public. This then progressed to Rees Street and the Olympia shopping centre. Following the attack, the Bavarian capital's transport system was suspended and the central railway station evacuated. Public transport was reopened several hours later when police gave a cautious all clear. Thousands of people stranded by the emergency and unable to get home were offered shelter by local residents. US and UK and other countries pledged their support for Germany after the attack. The Indian consulate in Munich also put out an advisory and helpline numbers so that Indians could report their safety.
Obviously, our hearts go out to those who may have been injured. It's still an active situation, and Germany is one of our closest allies, so we are going to pledge all the support that they may need in dealing with these circumstances.
Our thoughts are very much with the victims, their families, with the people of Munich and Germany more widely. If it seems very likely this is another terrorist incident, then I think it proves once again that we have a global phenomenon now and a global sickness that we have to tackle both at source in the areas where the cancer is being incubated in the Middle East, but also, of course, around the world.
This is the third strike against civilian targets in Europe in just over a week and follows an axe rampage by a teenager on a train in the same German state of Bavaria on Monday and the truck attack in the French city of Nice on 14th of July. Bureau Report, Rajya TV. Meanwhile, back home with the valley on the boil, with violent clashes between locals and security forces refusing to simmer down, Union Minister Home Minister Rajnath Singh will visit Jammu and Kashmir today. He will be on a 2-day visit to take stock of the situation in the state. The BJP did not rule out talks with separatists and said it would do whatever is necessary to restore peace in the state. Upon reaching Srinagar, Rajnath Singh will first interact with Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti and senior officials to review the law and order situation in the state. He will later meet the representatives of different political parties and social organizations to get their feedback on the situation. Now, Rajnath Singh is the first high-profile political leader from the ruling NDA government to visit Srinagar after the unrest following the killing of Hizbul Mujahideen commander Burhan Wani. Fresh clashes broke out on Friday prayers, killing 1 youth, raising the death toll to 45. Curfew still remains in force in 10 districts of the valley.
कश्मीर में 2 दिन के दौरे के लिए आ रहे हैं, उसमें अलग-अलग ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को वो मिलेंगे, लोग मिलेंगे, उनको डेलीगेशंस मिलेंगे, बाकी चर्चा भी होगी, पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज को मिलने का उनका है, जिस प्रकार से कार्यक्रम जो बन रहा है, तो सभी पक्षों को जो मिलना चाहेगा उनको मिलेंगे.
Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has agreed to hear a petition seeking imposition of governor's rule in Jammu and Kashmir. The apex court will hear the petition under a provision of J&K constitution. It was filed by Jammu and Kashmir National Panthers Party in light of the violence that has taken over the state after Burhan Wani's death. Well, news from Gujarat, where leaders of CPI, CPIM and JD are to visit Una today to meet the members of the Dalit community who have been protesting in the town. Senior JDU leader Sharad Yadav, CPI's D. Rajya and CPIM's Lok Sabha member PK Biju would reach Una later today and meet the family members of the youths who were allegedly beaten up by a group of right-wing cow vigilants. The delegation would spend a night in Una to hold interactions with the protesting members of the community. Their visit follows those by Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi as well as Aam Aadmi Party Chief and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Meanwhile, a 3-member Trinamool Congress parliamentary delegation will also visit Rajkot and Una today. The delegation will be led by Derek O'Brien, who is the TMC parliamentary party leader in Rajya Sabha. The 2 other members of the delegation are Kakuli Ghosh Dastidar and Pratima Mondal, both the Lok Sabha MPs. Earlier, TMC Supremo Mamata Banerjee had called the Una incident an organised crime against Dalits. She also urged the centre to treat Dalits with care and give full protection to them.
This is a very serious development. There is an increase in the heinous crimes, atrocities committed against Dalits. That is why Parliament took note of it. There was a huge debate in Parliament.
Meanwhile, search continued on Friday evening for the Indian Air Force plane which went missing over the Bay of Bengal amid inclement weather earlier in the day. The aircraft was flying from Chennai to Port Blair with 29 people on board. Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar has said that all efforts are being made to trace the missing plane.
It's been more than 10 hours since the Indian Air Force aircraft AN-32 went missing with 29 people on board. The Russian-made transport plane was on its way to Port Blair from Chennai when it disappeared from the radar. Of the 29 people on board, 6 are crew members, 12 are IAF personnel, 1 each from Navy, Coast Guard and Army, while 8 are civilians. According to sources, the aircraft took off at 8:30 a.m. from Tambaram in Chennai. The last contact with it was made 16 minutes later. Its estimated time of arrival in Port Blair was 11:30 a.m. The Navy, the Coast Guard and the IAF have launched a joint search and rescue operation. The Navy has diverted a submarine to trace any underwater signals from the missing aircraft, along with 12 ships and 2 Dornier aircrafts.
There is a surveillance aircraft P-8I. One started from Chennai, one started from Port Blair. And they are continuing the search operation. Even the naval ships and Coast Guard ships are deployed. Almost 7 to 8 ships are deployed. Besides that, at a given time, there are always civilian ships in that area. Must be more than 10-15. They are also alerted. They have been given all the information.
Got airborne at 8:30 in the morning. It was expected at Port Blair at 11:30. However, as of now, it is overdue, and IAF has launched search operation.
The aircraft was carrying service personnel to the strategic islands near the Malacca Straits, where India has a military base. Meanwhile, more military assets are being sent to help in the search and rescue operation. The AN-32 is a Russian-origin military transport aircraft that has been in service with the IAF since 1984. The aircraft can fly up to 4 hours without refueling. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Gorakhpur on Friday, where he laid the foundation stone for an All-India Institute of Medical Sciences, that is AIIMS, and the revival of a sick fertilizer plant. Now, both these proposals had recently been approved by the Union Cabinet.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday laid the foundation stone for the revival of a sick fertilizer plant in Gorakhpur. The plant, belonging to the Fertilizer Corporation India Limited, has been idle since the 1990s. It will be revived through a special purpose vehicle of PSUs at an estimated cost of 6,000 crore rupees. The revived plant will ensure adequate supply of nutrients to farmers in Uttar Pradesh.
आपने दिल्ली में ऐसी सरकार बनाई, आपके लिए दौड़ रही है। लखनऊ में भी ऐसी सरकार हो जो आपके लिए दौड़ने वाली।
The Prime Minister also laid the foundation stone for setting up of an All India Institute of Medical Sciences. The super specialty hospital will be built at an estimated cost of 1,011 crore rupees and is expected to create a large pool of doctors.
क्या एम्स दिल्ली वालों के लिए ही होना चाहिए क्या मेरे उत्तर प्रदेश के बीमार भाइयों बहनों को एम्स मिलना चाहिए कि नहीं मिलना चाहिए? भाइयों बहनों, 1,000 करोड़ से ज्यादा रुपया लगेंगे, लेकिन एम्स बनेगा, 700 बेड का आधुनिक से आधुनिक अस्पताल बनेगा।
The BJP has in mind next year's Uttar Pradesh Assembly polls. The party stresses that the Prime Minister took special interest in both these projects. While the AIIMS will directly benefit residents of 14 districts of eastern UP and neighbouring districts of Bihar, the revived fertilizer plant is expected to create up to 4,000 jobs. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
On to some other news now, and Vice President Hamid Ansari on Friday delivered the valedictory address of the centenary celebrations of the Mysore University, calling universities both weather vanes and safety valves of political dissent and direction. The Vice President said that suspension of such discourse only breeds mistrust and begets social malcontent. He said that recent events have shown that there is much confusion about what a university should or should not be. He pointed out universities are forums of free speech and debate. The long-term viability and stability of a democratic polity is crucially dependent on the maintenance and development of educational level of our population and on the individual's ability to form independent and enlightened opinions.
The idea of a university, wrote Cardinal Newman in the late 19th century, is to be determined without recourse to any authority and should be based on human wisdom and human knowledge.
Now, the flood situation continued to be serious in Assam, forcing people to vacate their homes and move to safer areas. Nearly 2 lakh people in 7 districts are hit in floods. More than 320 villages are underwater. The 7 affected districts are Lakhimpur, Golaghat, Moregaon, Jorhat, Dhemaji, Sevasagar and Kokrajhar. Now, army troops carried out rescue operations in parts of Chirag districts. At least 27 relief camps have also been set up in the affected districts, where over 12,000 people have taken shelter. The Assam State Disaster Management Authority said that Brahmaputra continued to flow above the danger mark. Well, in Breakfast News, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
Welcome to this episode of Eureka. We have with us Dr. B.N. Gangadhar.
No treatment for mental illness. That is the myth. Second myth is once a mentally ill is ever a mentally ill. Both, I think, are totally false. I want the people to understand mental illness is like any other illness to our body. Mental hospital is like any other hospital. They can get treatment, they can go back well and they can remain well forever.
Watch Eureka with Professor B.N. Gangadhar, Director, Nimhans, Bangalore, only on Rajya Sabha TV.
Welcome back. Let's get you some parliamentary news. And Lok Sabha proceedings were disrupted on Friday following a continuous protest against Aam Aadmi Party member Bhagwant Man's controversial video of the Parliament House. Now, members from every party condemned Man's action and demanded action against him. Man was also summoned by Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan. Now, Sumitra Mahajan termed it a serious issue and assured the protesting members that action will be taken against him.
A controversial video of Parliament shot by Aam Aadmi Party MP Bhagwant Mann triggered protest in the Lok Sabha, leading to the House being adjourned till Monday. Speaker Sumitra Mahajan termed the matter serious, even as she summoned Mann and assured action against him.
मैं मानती हूँ क्योंकि पार्लियामेंट की सिक्योरिटी के लिए 13 लोगों ने जान गंवाई है कभी 13 लोगों ने जान गंवाई है मामला गंभीर है और इस पर हम कोई ना कोई कार्रवाई जरूर मैं मानती होना चाहिए मैं इस सब मामले में सोचूंगी.
All parties condemned Mann and even demanded strong action against him. Leader of Congress in the lower house Mallikarjun Kharge said the house should speak in one voice on this.
सारा सदन एक होकर इसको कंडेम करना चाहिए क्योंकि ये देश के सिक्योरिटी का मामला है और जो 125 करोड़ जनता का रिप्रेजेंट करने वाले लोग यहाँ पर बैठे हुए रहते हैं तो उनकी सुरक्षा का भी प्रश्न है और देश का भी प्रश्न है.
मैडम स्पीकर भगवंत मान जी कह रहे हैं कि वो पुनः वो कार्रवाई करेंगे वो दोबारा करेंगे वीडियोग्राफी तो मैम मेरा मानना है कि जबकि ये कह रहे हैं कि वो पुनः वही कार्रवाई करेंगे आप पुनः सिक्योरिटी को जेओपार्डी में डालेंगे तो उनको तत्काल निलंबित किया जाए. मैडम उनको तत्काल निलंबित किया जाए.
It is a very serious matter. My only concern here is it is not ignorance. It is not foolishness either. It is not obduracy. I would say repeatedly what we have seen in the... Therefore, my request would be, Madam, a separate committee may be formed to find out. I leave it to your judgment so that it's not a matter of ethics committee, not a matter of only privilege committee.
मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि देश की सुरक्षा के मामले में और संसद की प्रेस्टीज के मामले में कोई समझौता नहीं हो सकता और जैसे संसद के सीक्रेसी इन्होंने आउट की है इनसे इन्वेस्टिगेशन होनी चाहिए कि इसके पीछे किसका हाथ है.
A tense man himself stood up in his seat and was seen trying to speak. As the uproar continued, proceedings were adjourned for the day. In the nearly 12-minute-long video, Mann is seen giving a running commentary as his vehicle crosses security barricades and enters Parliament. With Pranav Goswami and Ravindra Shoran, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, Rajya Sabha proceedings were also washed out on Friday following uproar over Man's video of Parliament House. Members cutting across party lines objected to the Lok Sabha legislators' action in allegedly compromising the security of Parliament complex and putting it on social media. Now, BJP members took the lead in demanding action against him and forced several adjournments through the day.
The controversial video shot by Aam Aadmi Party member Bhagwant Mann in Parliament has triggered massive protests in the Rajya Sabha on Friday. Ruling BJP members took the lead in demanding suspension of business to take up discussion on the matter. Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi said the viral video clips on social media could help terrorists.
वो आतंकवादी जो आतंकवादी की पूरी दुनिया में अपनी शैतानी हरकतें कर रहे हैं उन आतंकवादियों को आपने वो ठिकाने बताने की कोशिश की उस तरह से आपने उन आतंकवादियों की मदद करने की कोशिश की जिससे वो आतंकवादी अपनी शैतानी हरकतों में कामयाब हो.
Every time anything affects the prerogative of the House, all of us have taken the matters very, very seriously. And we also say in matters related to the House, we have to be seen being proactive.
We have seen the attack on Parliament, how serious it was. Every day we are subjected to terrorism. Now if an MP behaves in such a cavalier manner, then action must be taken.
Members across the political spectrum denounced the Lok Sabha Members Act and demanded stern action against him.
I would urge, sir, given the seriousness of the matter, that the Honourable Chairman conveys what we feel about it and the Security Committee takes appropriate action. That's one part.
So it's both been a breach of that and a breach of security, breach of privilege and a breach of security, both. Now the question is what action should be taken. Action needs to be taken, there is no doubt. As the chair of this house, you can convey our sentiment to the other house. Since he is a member of the other house must proceed.
Admitting the seriousness of the issue, Deputy Chairman P.J. Kurian said the government must take cognizance of the security violation and take appropriate legal action.
Whoever does it, now whether it is Rajya Sabha member, Lok Sabha member, government should be seized of the matter and government should take appropriate action, whatever is needed. Number one, with regard to security, whatever is to be done, that should be done by government. Number two, with regard to the person who violated the security norms, government certainly can take legal action or other action should be done.
Sharp verbal exchanges were witnessed between the Treasury and the opposition benches as Congress members demanded action by the government. The BJP and SAD members also pressed for discussion. Question hour was paralysed as BJP members continued their tirade against the Lok Sabha member. The issue resonated even in the post-lunch session, stalling the private members' bill. As BJP members marched into the well, the chairman adjourned the House till Monday. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, the Andhra Pradesh Reorganisation Amendment Bill 2015, introduced as a private member's legislation, was once again stuck in the upper house due to disruptions. The proceedings were adjourned without further discussion on the bill.
The second half of the proceedings on Friday, which are reserved for private members' legislations, started on a stormy note. Members from the Treasury benches trooped into the well, demanding the arrest of Aam Aadmi Party MP Bhagwant Mann for making a controversial video inside Parliament earlier this week. Opposition members dubbed this as a tactic by the government to defer the discussion and passage of the Andhra Pradesh Reorganisation Amendment Bill 2015, which was introduced as a private member's legislation. It was moved by Congress MP Dr. KVP Ramachandra Rao on 11th of March this year.
They don't want that bill to be passed. This is a political issue. They are depriving the state of Andhra Pradesh politically. They are standing against the interest of the people of Andhra Pradesh.
Leader of the House must respond to the demand of his colleagues in the government and members of parliament. They want arrest. Now you cannot order arrest. We cannot order arrest. Arrest can be done by the government. Let the leader of the House inform through you what action they are taking.
Even the deputy chairman expressed his displeasure at the slogan, shouting,
See, the treasury benches are obstructing. Usually it is opposition. Now today you are doing it.
Proceedings were finally adjourned for the day amid slogan shouting. Congress had earlier issued a 3-line whip to its members in the upper house, hoping the bill would be taken up for discussion and voting on Friday. Vishal Dahiya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Let's get to some international news. Here is the World Wrap. US Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton has selected Tim Kaine, a moderate senator from Virginia, as her running mate. Clinton passed over more left-leaning candidates in favor of the 58-year-old senator who opposes abortion and supports free trade agreements. His home state of Virginia is a major battleground in the coming election. The local authorities in Nice have refused a request by French anti-terror police to destroy CCTV images of last week's lorry attack. The Paris prosecutor's office said the request has been made to avoid the uncontrolled dissemination of images, but officials in Nice argue that the footage would constitute evidence. More than 80 people died when a Tunisian man plowed a lorry into crowds out celebrating Bastille Day on 14th of July. Turkey has issued arrest warrants for 300 members of the Presidential Guard after a failed coup attempt. 283 of the guards have already been arrested and that the operation is ongoing. Latest figures show that more than 44,000 employees of state institutions have been suspended amid a nationwide probe into the coup attempt. They were accused of alleged links to the failed coup and US-based cleric Fethullah Gulen, who's accused of plotting the coup. The UN Security Council on Friday endorsed plans to rid Libya of its chemical weapons and prevent them from falling into the hands of extremists like the Islamic State group. Libya this week asked the chemical watchdog to drop a plan for the destruction of the toxic agents that until recently was stored at a depot in the southwest of the country. On to some cricket news, and India were in firm control of the first test against West Indies after Virat Kohli and R. Ashwin helped the visitors amass 556 for 8 on day 2. With India declaring a post-T, pacer Mohammad Shami, who is back in action after a long layoff, removed Rajendra Chandrika to reduce the West Indies to 31 for 1 in 16 overs. The hosts trail India by 535 runs going into day 3 at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. Now, it was a memorable day for Captain Virat Kohli, who eased into his maiden double 100 in Test before Ashwin struck his third Test ton. Now, a sloppy effort in the field made matters worse for the home team. India, who began the day at 302 for 4, were allowed to score freely by the West Indies bowlers, so much so that the tailender Amit Mishra raced to 53 runs off just 68 balls towards the end of the innings, lasting 161.5 overs. Well, that's all in this edition of News. Thanks for watching.